Okay. Oh my God, we're here, guys.
Hey, everybody.
How are you? All right, we're going to give people a second to get together. And then we'll do our little champagne.
And we'll do our champagne toast for Phillthy Phresh. We're here live. We got our guests, too.
We got our guests.
Yeah.
It'll be good. Okay.
This is going to be very fun.
So I want to do the frame. So you see how
Yeah,
this
we're all in
is?
frame.
But they're not in frame. So I'm going to
Slide
move back.
over.
So you're going to move over.
We're getting our guys in frame.
And then we're going to move the... We're going to move that back.
Okay.
I'm going to move this microphone back.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, everyone. We're just letting everyone gather in. And then we're going to start our show. You all see the topics. Listen to Cardi B while we sip on our champagne.
It's not wine in the kitchen. True.
No, this is
You said what's up? For sure.
I have to...
Champagne. I need a glass of wine.
Go get your glass.
Did you talk about my man, nigga? Black man.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to Phillthy Phresh Live.
Hey, guys.
We're here and we're coming live to you from Philadelphia. This is Phillthy Phresh. We have a couple guests on our show today. We're going to be talking about platonic relationships. Do they work? Do they not work? We're also going to be talking about the men going their own way. And we want to hear what the men have to say about this MGTOW movement and about them leaving women alone. That's what we want to do. And then we're going to talk about these lying ass hoes. Hashtag believe her. Should we believe her or should we not believe her? False rape accusations. How do these men feel if they were falsely accused of rape and what we think the penalty should be? So how should we start off, Amber? What should we start off with?
I think we should introduce our panel first.
Yes, I think we should introduce our panel first, too. So we're going to let the guys talk. So we're going to start over here with the regular guy, professional nigga, Anthony Miles.
We business card.
Yeah, I should have printed them out. But yeah, I'm here, Anthony Miles. Basically, like they said, just a professional nigga. Just every once in a while, I just got something smart to say. So people look at me as like, hey, maybe a little head ass in my opinion sometimes, but they all come from like a valuable source. And I've always, kind of been the type to think before I speak. So it should be real interesting to kind of hop on these discussions and see if we can give our opinion without getting killed for it.
They're not going to get killed. This is a free open space, and we really honestly want to hear what the guys have to say.
So I'm excited. He don't give a shit.
I don't care. Now we have another guest, and our other guest is Les Dow. Tell them who you are, Les.
Just a regular black dude.
That's it.
Just a regular black dude.
They're both just regular black guys.
Y'all bought two regular ass niggas to talk about some shit though, but that's exactly who you need though. Like seriously, that's exactly
a lot of times when people have these conversations, they're having these conversations without male input. So we decided that it would be beneficial to have the guys on here. So are you guys familiar with the men going their own way movement?
I am.
Really?
Yeah. I actually did a little bit more homework on it today.
Did you? So tell me what you think. So for everyone out there who don't know about the men going their own way movement, it's this whole movement about, well, I interpret it as men who've been hurt in their relationships and they've decided to completely denounce women. And there's several levels to it. And these men really find that the legal justice system is not the legal justice system is not on the side of men when it comes to children. They always really side with the mother, and a lot of the men in this movement feel like that's completely and totally wrong. There's also men who feel like women are only out here to suck them up for their resources and leave them out for dead and dry.
What resources?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Well, you know, their jobs, their jobs, their jobs, their jobs, their money. Pretty much it's about there are some women who are out here just using men indiscriminately for money, for meals. You know, some hoes are a little cheap with it. Some hoes are a little bit more expensive with it. But all at the end of the day, this is what it's about. So how you feel about that? Come on, share your opinion about men going their own way. Do you really think that? What do you think?
I think it's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. When y'all told me the topic, I read up on it. I said, shit. When I started reading, first off, I was like, what the hell is this, man? I said, what the hell is this, man?
That's the same thing I said.
Honestly, I knew nothing about it till y'all brought it to my attention. And I'm actually mad that y'all brought it to my attention.
I'm sorry about
You wasted my time.
I'm sorry that you're
No,
hurt.
I'm just playing.
Are you going to cry? We need to get some tissues.
Can you talk
We
about
have a hurt black man here. We have to be sympathetic.
Nah. You have to tell people exactly like the levels of this MGTOW shit. Like, tell people the levels of this shit. Like,
so there are 4
just break
levels.
down the stupidity.
Break it down for us, co-hosts.
Well, no,
break down the
together.
fragility
Let's just
on many levels. I need you to break down
there
all
are
the
4
fragility
levels.
on 4.
So there are 4
different
levels to MGTOW, and they are all, as we talked about, what the origins are and the reasons why. But people are like, so how do men go without women? Well, you can go without women several ways. You can not have intimate relations with them. You cannot have, and like when I say intimate, you can either just have sexual acts.
But if you want to continue that conversation, that's going to be private.
There's levels.
Right.
There's levels.
And there's
Listen,
levels.
level 0.
Level
0.
He's going over it.
Situational awareness. The member has taken the red pill.
The red pill.
And embraces the idea
red pill.
that gender equality is a lie and propaganda. That's level 0.
So
that's
these
level 0.
basic.
Nigga, that's the foundation.
These men think that gender equality is a joke.
Hey yo, and what at any organization, like what level is taking the red pill like the foundation?
Right. You just broke ground. Like we ain't even put no building blocks up yet. That's
you're already taking the red. All right, cool. All right, we already at level 1.
They didn't have to have a trust.
You have elevated now. You have elevated.
Just take the fucking pill.
You've elevated. Level 1, rejection of long-term relationships. The man rejects long-term relationships, but will still partake in short-term relationships and sexual encounters.
So you'll still fuck a bitch, but you don't want to have no relationship with her.
Boy between the ages of 19 and 39.
So we can combine just level 0 and 1. That means you don't think women are equal, but you fucked up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why don't you just fuck a bitch then?
But I'll still fuck up.
Continue with the level, please.
Level 2.
Right.
Level 2, which is level 3 if you think about it. But this is
Yeah,
next
0,
level
1,
shit.
2.
See, y'all not listening. All right, level 2.
0, 1, 2.
Rejection of short-term relationships.
All
the
together.
member won't partake in hookups or any form of short-term or sexual relationships. Now,
sounds like complete celibacy to me.
Now
you.
But
But I want to know: are you still watching porn to jerk off? That's what I want to know.
But
That's what I
probably,
wanna know.
they're probably self-pleasuring because they don't even want the other woman.
Well, that's truly not leaving women alone. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
level 3 is my favorite.
Oh, this you've enlightened. Now you're enlightened.
This is
like
technically level 4.
Listen, level 3 is my favorite. Economic disengagement.
So these men
right up my alley, bro. I was here with these niggas when they said economic disengagement. All right, a member at this stage refuses to earn more money than is necessary for sustaining life.
That's what my
How petty? Who hurt these niggas? Like the founding members are so scorned by
They
women.
are scorned.
Oh my god!
They
Like-
are scorned.
So like
Oh my god!
to literally like cap yourself on pay. Like you know what?
I know,
Earning
man.
75,000 this year. I need like 42 to survive.
So
that's
just to recap, MGTOW has been associated with political viewpoints. Politically, MGTOW, men going their own way, has been associated with libertarianism, the alt-right, and philosophical anarchism.
Oh wait, no, wait, listen. There's still another step to level 3. He also views the government as tyrannical and is trying to actively drain money from the bureaucrats.
Is this before or after the vasectomy?
This is before the vasectomy. This is before his balls. He actually forfeits his balls. This is before he forfeits them, John. And then level 4, which is, I mean, you have now moved on to a higher being.
Higher plane.
Societal disengagement. This is as far mainstream as MGTOW can go.
You don't even go out the
Here, the man refuses to interact with society. He's not even fucking with y'all. He's not fucking with nobody in society.
So here we have.
Listen, I done remove myself first, step by
I
step.
feel that though.
You know what I mean? Like I have. You know what?
Just
Fuck the government.
I'm
gonna live a minimalist life. I'm gonna knock them out hand-to-hand combat. You know,
just chill in the crib. I'm not.
That's it. I don't need nobody.
Moving up to Canada.
I'm
in the woods with it. I'm not.
I'm moving
on. So on a serious note.
Look this shit up, man.
Davy Crockett now. I'm not.
Look this shit up.
So do you think that this could work? Do you guys think that this could work? Do you think that there are certain men that will actually stick to this going their own way movement?
Has anybody watched the Netflix show Big Mouth season 2?
Yeah.
Mantown.
Yeah.
Is that not MGTOW? Does not sound like Mantown. It's Mantown for sure. I just picture a nasty condo with just tissues and lotion everywhere. It's just nasty.
So basically CFC without the bars.
Not CFC without the bars. So it's safe to say that you guys don't necessarily buy this whole MGTOW movement.
No.
It's been going their
Niggas
own way
is putting like their like emotions and the genitals in solitary confinement, all because they don't stop laughing.
Well, that's called chastity in the bondage and sadomasochism.
Can we time out for a minute? Can we time out for a minute? They actually talked about that there's something going in the MGTOW movement going full monk, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so where they stop, they're totally celibate. They don't have sexual thoughts whatsoever. And a lot of these guys started off by going there. Why MGTOW is important here is because they started going off because of these movements, right?
Yeah.
So we've got like the hashtag #MeToo movement. We've got hashtag Believe
Her.
I'm sorry.
This is their response. Now, granted, this is a majority. I think racial divides are important here.
Yeah.
This is a majority Caucasian kind of response to this
If you're,
because they have nowhere else to go and they don't really have the history that, say, Black Americans have with issues like this and being falsely accused. They're not accustomed to that. But, you know, this is their, like, response.
And it actually ties into, you know, Believe Her, because some of the individuals who are in this, some of the guys who are in this MGTOW movement, they've been falsely accused of rape. And when a woman says that she's been raped, a guy, it's automatically assumed that she's telling the truth.
Right.
And when she's automatically assumed to be telling the truth, then the guy's life is ruined without thorough investigation. Because even though we do live in America and a person is innocent until proven guilty, we all know that people are vilified in the media constantly.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's the court of public opinion. It's not necessarily a court of due diligence.
The thing that's kind of blowing me with this whole thing, like, I'm getting tired of like these counter hashtags.
I was gonna say
everything's a counter hash. Like, this was the same conversation that we were having with Blue Lives Matter. That we had with Black Lives Matter.
If your movement is
like,
a counter movement, fuck your movement.
It should never be like. I'm just not digging it. Like, I'm not digging it. Just because it's like, oh, you know what? Not all men are good. Hey, you know what, bro? I'm tired of this shit. We gotta have our own movement.
It just sounds like
come on, bro. Like, stop.
From South Park.
Yeah, that's exactly. They took our jobs.
That's all it is. That's what it sounds like. And it's weak. I don't know.
Because
if your movement is an anti-movement, if it's a counter movement, fuck your movement.
So if I'm interpreting what you're saying that it's an anti-women
it's a response.
Movement. So
it's a response.
If it's a response, first off, if you can't understand the levels of feminism and break them down,
feminism is a what? A white woman thing.
Whatever, that's fine. Okay. All right.
It really is.
Touche. Like, no, but it
really
feminism is a white woman thing, right? If you feel that trigger where you have to create a counter movement for feminism, that's just weak. That's weak as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because like,
so you're saying they're non-men because they have this counter movement. Are they less? Do you see them as less?
Are they less?
No.
They're just weak dudes.
That's all it is.
Just weak
and
dudes
they're
exposing themselves, man.
And they're trying to like.
No one feels bad for them.
They're trying to like vilify the other movement, and that's just not. It's just not.
Nobody feels sorry for these dudes.
Like nobody.
Man.
Okay.
So these were the men who were in relationships who got severely burned by women, and now they have this like anti-woman sentiment.
So you need to go somewhere, unpack, heal, and move the fuck on.
Who hasn't been burned by a woman?
Everybody's been burnt by a man. Everybody's been burned by a woman.
Everybody's been burned
people
before,
burn
man.
people.
Like, exactly. Who hasn't been hurt before,
that's part of the learning. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's part of the learning process.
And I don't mean to sound insensitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get help.
So what do you guys feel about, how should the law handle, women who falsely accuse men of rape? Because a lot of times
the same way they should handle white people that call the cops on black people falsely.
Which is nothing.
No, I said should.
Oh, okay.
The way they should handle it the same way.
Okay, so my question is
crying wolf.
I talked about this on the last show, but we didn't really go where we wanted to go with it. Yeah. And I definitely have opinions on this. I'll share a little bit of it, but my real rant will be on Patreon, which you should subscribe to.
$5 a month, private access, and we really get to share our unadulterated thoughts because we know that we're on Mark Zuckerberg's platform, and we can.
You only went to Harvard, Mark. Call me when you can get into Penn. Anyway, so
that's fun.
Anyway. So back to what I'm saying is this. So what's really impressive upon me is, and people know my stance, it's not a secret, I'm elected, so I'm on the conservative side of things, but I also have to acknowledge American history. And what I know about our history is that Black people really don't usually get a fair shake, or I'm not going to refer Black people to our show. So people don't usually get a fair shake at the justice system. Okay, especially when it's in a white justice system, which is now America's justice system, because that's the colonials of us, right? And, what we're looking at here is, I always think I see these hashtags, believe her, right? So I'm interested because I said, Sharon, I should put up on Phillthy Phresh like a picture of Emmett Till's bloated, mutilated body, and then underneath it say hashtag believe her. Or I should put a picture up of all the Black penises in jars and the hanging bodies, that have blood around the groin, and say hashtag believe her. I should just start doing that since we're going to start believing everybody and believing every time any woman, especially a Caucasian woman, says this happened to her. So I personally, and you're getting a little insight to this, I grow concerned when I get concerned when I see this energy that is
so much energy. It's so much energy.
Like energy I've never seen before, especially
you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She was raped. And then come to find out, like the case with the woman who accused the Duke lacrosse team. She wasted all of these resources, got the media in such a tizzy, and come to find out she was a lioness bitch and the rape never occurred.
And I'll be honest, I'm really sad about that woman. You know what I mean? Because she is a woman of color, and I'm so sorry that happened to her. But I'm also
you know what, and that's another thing I'm pissed off about. Like, you took a whole L for all Black women. Yeah. Like, you accused these white men, okay,
and I was down here that weekend,
sexual assault, and then it all turned out to be a lie.
And what was crazy was you accused people who, like, I knew personally. I know Colin Finnerty. We grew up next door to each other. Sister Molly went to Buckley with me, and I know that Colin is not a racist rapist. And, the things she was alleging and what she was expounding upon, and then the story I posted, she had been a victim of sexual assault all her life. So this was her opportunity to finally get believed, but it was kind of like she was going to punish these men.
For what other men had did. And that's unfortunate, because when you have women out here who are falsely accusing men of doing something that they didn't do, it makes it bad for everyone else. it makes it bad for other women who've actually been victims of violence. And it makes it harder for people to believe them and harder for people to turn around and support them. So like this is something that causes a ripple effect. So when you have one person who's lying about it, then everyone who is saying, oh, well, this happened to me, this happened to me, it calls that into question. And that is a very unfair thing to do. And not to mention the fact that these men out here who are being falsely accused of rape, it actually destroys their lives and their reputations. Do you guys know any gentlemen who've actually been accused of sexual assault falsely?
A lot, right?
Would you like to share some of those stories with our audience?
Without giving away anybody's.
Without talk generally, without giving out.
Well, don't give anybody's like name or like even institution of education.
No. Well, it all started on 52nd.
But what's interesting about this? What's interesting about this is that we have two men here.
It was October 29th,
No
2013.
We have two men here
7:40, 7:45.
who know men who've been falsely accused. So it is clearly something that it happens that people really don't talk about when they also talk about the Believe Her movement and the Me Too movement. So please go ahead, share, guys.
You want to take the floor, bro?
I'm not. It's not. There's nothing to glorify in these stories. Man.
No,
there's nothing. There's nothing to glorify in these stories. I mean, it's just.
They've all ended every situation.
All the situations. I'm sorry. I mean, I was processing the thought, but the only situations that I knew of were unfortunate. It was a couple situations where a young girl was into, where a young girl was actually into some things that were, you know what I mean? Like she was into some things that were a little quick for her age, and her parents found out.
A little promiscuous.
And
too young,
a little promiscuous, and her parents found out, and so her reflex was to, play the victim. And in fact, she was the one driving the car, like, you know what I mean. But her reflex was play the victim, and not saying she was, she's exonerated because of age, but I've seen situations like that where young girls have, I've seen a couple of situations like that where young girls have falsely accused, guys of raping them, and it was because they were young and their parents found out, and that's the
and that was basically their escape route. Basically, I was being sexually active, and as I was being sexually active, someone found out I was underage, I want to push back on that a little bit because you keep saying young girl.
I'm talking about women.
That was the situation that I know.
Yeah,
I want to go there on like Brett Kavanaugh levels. Okay, I want to go there on levels that.
What I've seen,
he was young when it happened too.
What I've seen, like from the situation,
he was 17.
And how old was she?
He was 14, but then they got
older. I'm
older.
talking about similar situations.
Right. But then they got older, and then he was in college.
14-year-old girls.
Like, I have a friend who a lesbian accused him of trying to rape her, and he's a full-grown homosexual man. And because he was black, this white lesbian woman, I'm just saying, because this white lesbian woman, this known white lesbian woman, tried to say in public that this man drugged her, and she saw him drug her. And attempted to
I know this story.
So I'm talking about things as adults that still happen. I'm talking about the situations where this woman at Hofstra had group sex in a bathroom, and when she was supposed to be with her boyfriend, she wasn't. And then he saw the footage, and he said, "What happened here?"
Wait a minute, what are we doing out here?
What?
Wait. She was there with her dude.
So her dude was not with her.
But she was off having group sex.
But she was off having group sex.
What? I said
She's in the bathroom.
I said to break that down. Wait, in the bathroom?
What?
How quick did this happen? Was this planned? Was this fine?
Let her finish the story.
All right, my bad. I'm sorry.
So this was maybe 7 years ago.
Oh shit, an orgy. How
So
many? Was it like double Dutch?
She was having an orgy in the bathroom. Her boyfriend wasn't there. She was supposed to be home with her boyfriend. She got home. She was obviously a little sweaty. She didn't even take a hoe bath. And she got home, and the boyfriend said, "What happened to you?" And because he was so upset, she said, I got raped. And she's like, "Here's the footage." the footage.
Wow,
He's so upset.
The footage.
He's so upset. He's like, oh my God, they videotaped it on your phone? What animals do this? Like, videotape it on your phone?
Yeah, on your phone.
And he goes, and she's like, we got to go to the police. You have to tell them. I can't tell them. You have to tell them. And she goes and she rocks with it.
Who does that?
This girl had 7 men. 7 men.
Oh, she Kobe
Bryant.
Okay,
up in
shorty.
here. She's a
remember
mama.
the white girl in Kobe Bryant case? She showed
it.
up with 7 different sperm specimens.
But let's unpack. Like this is unpack with the whole situation. I mean, I got without, and I'm not even really trying to like say too much, but I have somebody that's close to me that got accused of like sexual assault and having an improper relationship with, at the time she was a minor. Right? And it came to find out it wasn't true at all. Wasn't true. Wasn't true. Wow. And what he had to deal with, the PTSD that he had to deal with after that.
Wow.
With his own, like, now he's walking on eggshells trying to raise his daughters.
Wow.
Like around his family.
Wow.
He can't really, like, even around family functions, and this is a guy who did nothing at all.
Wow.
And just
stigma still carried.
And just
just
that
accusation brings on a stigma.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's such and
Watch
such.
kids round.
Supposedly he
Watch
was such and such.
But that's what I'm saying. Is
like,
hashtag believe
that,
her.
like, and now he doesn't know how to interact.
As a man,
which also,
so
now that you said that,
it's
which
a lot
also
to
can
unpack
lead a
with the
guy
whole thing,
to the
you know what I'm
MGTOW
saying?
movement, to men going their own way.
Nah,
Because when
they don't know any other way.
Can I say something? Because as a man, real quick, like, I've never felt threatened of being accused of rape, bro. Like, I've never felt threatened of being accused of rape. I haven't been in a situation where I'm like, oh shit, this is a rapey situation. I should get out of here. I've never been in that situation.
But guys, that's the thing that you guys
I'm in between
a
rape and a wall and a hard place.
But it's never the rapey. You know what? I'm so glad you said. I am so glad you guys said that.
I just don't find myself in a situation. I don't feel attacked.
Okay, so can I say something to you?
Go ahead.
I'm so glad you said that because that shows that it hasn't happened to you, and you think you're taking the precautions the way you think.
Precautions? I'm just no decent human being.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm so glad you're saying that because
if I see a rape happen, I'm gonna fuck that nigga up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna actively do something.
Wait. Time out. I want you to define in your own words what a rumor is. I want you to define in your own words for me what a rumor is.
A rumor?
What's a rumor?
Untrue. It starts with untrue, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well,
and then what happens with
everything else? Well,
it spreads.
Exacerbates.
So this is a rumor that is untrue and that is spread. Do you understand? Let's talk about Supreme Court justices, right? Thurgood Marshall, the first African American Supreme Court justice.
Seen the movie?
One of his